JASL say, JASL love the dog. JASL love the dog. JASL love the dog. What can't talk in the day? At the night pod. JASL love the dog. JASL love the dog. JASL love the dog. What can't talk in the day? At the night pod.
All right, good night, ladies, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for another episode of JASL After Dark. I'm your host, Calvin, and we're excited to be back for Candid Conversations every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Now, JASL After Dark is brought to you by Jamaica AIDS Support for Life, and you can also watch and listen to the show on JASL's Instagram page at JASL Info or on Facebook at Jamaica AIDS Support for Life, or you can stay right here on the Bridge 99 FM. I also have my co-host Sade with me. Hey, Sade.
Hey, honey. How are you? So this is your girl Sade from Fetchy Secrets. What's going on, Calvin?
I'm here. I'm good. I'm, not looking good as you, but
I had my plans. I had my plans tonight. Don't worry about me. All right. So this evening, we will be discussing the topic, the ins and outs of contraception. So to share in tonight's discussion, we have with us Nikisha Barnes. Hey.
Hi, everybody.
Director, Health Promotion and Prevention at the National Family Planning Board. For those who don't know, Nikisha has one of the best singing voices in Jamaica. Literally the best, okay? Let me emphasize that. The best singing voice in Jamaica, and would have captivated a lot of us when she was a contestant of Digital Rising Stars. But tonight, she is here to talk to us about contraceptives, right?
Yeah.
But who knows? We might get to hear a song from her before the show is out. Maybe. Maybe.
Bombastic side.
So, welcome, Nikisha. Welcome. But, before we get into tonight's discussion, it is now time for Hot Pot.
I'm hungry. I want something juicy to eat. Are we in the pot?
It's time for Hot Pot.
Hot Pot.
Hot pot.
Hot Pot.
No, sir. This catching at.
Hot Pot.
So there are always some topics that are interesting and somewhat controversial. So each week we dip into our hot pot to find a topic to discuss. So we're going to ask our guest, Nikisha.
Have to.
What am I drawing is near to me?
Yes.
All
Dip
right?
into our
I'm
hot.
dipping into the hot pots. And by the way, I like on the hot pot. I don't know if I can get one on my yard.
I think we can have it arranged.
Thank you.
So read for us and let's see what it says.
Celebrity Pamela Anderson has claimed that a plant-based diet is an aphrodisiac. So my question to you is, do you think that there are certain foods and drinks that stimulate sexual desires? If yes, what are some of those foods and drinks?
Well,
this bigger than me.
well, let's hear it, Nikisha. Let's hear it.
Yeah, it's bigger than me. Yeah.
So, what do you think? What are some foods and drinks that stimulate sexual desires? You must know a few, one and two. So, talk to us.
In my out there life,
in whatever life.
so I've heard. I've heard. For some people, they will probably have reactions for like strawberries, and for some people, the taste from others of pineapple may excite some people.
The taste from others?
I'm looking at what I'm saying it. I'm looking in the skies, and I'm
No. I want it all. Give it to me raw and candid as possible. Me don't want to hear none of that. Give it to me, please, Nikisha. Yes.
My government face.
I don't want that.
I think for me, I don't have a lot of knowledge when it comes to that particular area. So I'm very open to learning tonight about this.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and share.
And I too am open to learning, so I'm gonna ask Sade.
See there,
What?
I'm gonna put this turning at the chair.
Yeah,
I'll look up on Sade. Class in session.
Yes.
So my pen out, me ready.
I mean, well, food and drinks vary.
Here we go.
On
the paper.
On what each individual likes. As you mentioned, strawberries. You have chocolates. You have the whipped cream. There are so many different things.
Somebody said buy a girl a chicken box and it done this. So.
Oh my God, y'all are not nice. Y'all are not nice. But it's pretty basic though, because as we always say, different strokes for different folks.
Right.
So it depends. Probably dark chocolate stimulates you sexually, when probably white chocolate stimulate me.
There you go.
You might like strawberry, and then I might like cantaloupe or probably grape. There's so many different ways you can incorporate food and drinks in whatever you're doing. You might like whipped cream. I don't like whipped cream because I don't want to taste that. I don't want to feel that all over my body. Yeah. So there are just different flavors and different things. You have the watermelon, you have the peach, the cherries, like different flavors for different
honey
people.
By your body.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so you have stuff like that can and then when you talk about like temperature play now, when you get into the warmness and stuff and the ice and all of that, like like ice, like ice because ice too cold. You don't want to feel too much coldness there. You know what I mean? And then you probably like it cold meal, probably like it warm because I want it warm and tingling and all of that. So it varies on the individuals, but those are like some type of food and drinks that will actually stimulate you sexually. Calvin, what stimulates you?
It no matter.
I tell
you the truth. It don't matter. It doesn't matter what I eat.
Because you have oysters, avocado. There's so many different things that are.
Yeah, so there are foods that are natural aphrodisiacs.
Yeah.
And for those who don't, what's that big word? Those are foods that stimulate you sexually. They increase your.
So you might have like a scent that you really like. So some people like vanilla. So if you have like a vanilla whipped cream or something that's vanilla based and you have it during the moment, it will incite a little thrill in the moment.
Turn on the thrill. Somebody said Magnum.
Oh my God!
Right, rum cream.
Listen, and it gets weird because everybody know like asparagus, like it enhances the libido in both men and women.
There you go.
So if you want to get down into it,
I'm taking notes.
A lot of people may not like asparagus, but it does help with the libido for both men and women. Yeah, which is really good.
Me only hear the name there. I don't even know what it look like, taste like, smell like, anything. Just
the longer version of string bean. That's what it is.
Listen. Catch up yourself.
Right?
Not get left.
Red wine, if you're gonna go drinks, because red wine, especially like dry red wine. Once you drink red wine, automatically you're aroused and stimulated sexually just the same. So you talk about drinks, you talk about the wine, them.
Yeah.
Especially red wine. I don't know what I'm putting in red wine.
It do something.
It do something. That's why I bring you back to the grape, them.
That's where
Me just ask.
I feel like Nikki should know more, but she refused to say right now. It's okay.
Okay, right. Got you. Roger with that one.
Tell you what, Nikisha, I want you to dip into our hot pot again. And
one more.
Find another strip of
yes, one more.
Magically
Let's know what's happening.
All right. I like this section right here. So more and more women are saying that boyfriends should get different treatment from husbands. Meaning, while you will cook white rice and chicken for boyfriend, that one I faced it, husband can get rice and peas and oxtail. So do you treat your partner differently based on the status of the relationship?
So do you treat your partner differently based on the status of the relationship?
So may I draw in my government shirt and hide it? I'm going to position this in this way.
Right. Position it, yes.
For everybody, it's different. But I would caution people to step into a role of wifedom when that person has not opened the door for husbandry to you. So you have to gauge and know where are you in the point in the relationship to shift gears into opening yourself and space to those wifely things, because that person may not yet be there to reciprocate a husband type connection to you. So you have to know where you are in order to do that shift. And if you're not there, you can't force anybody to be there. You might be in your wife mode, but your partner is not yet in the frame to be a husband to you.
Yeah.
So you have to know, because you might start to give something to somebody who's not able to reciprocate. And then you end up frustrated, vexed, and say people wicked and evil when nobody asked you.
I never miss any go do it.
Yeah.
Nobody asks you to start galang like you is wife.
Right.
My 2 cents.
Not bad. Fair enough. How about you, Calvin?
Yeah, I agree somewhat with that in terms of gauge your your actions and behavior, it should be somewhat gauged against what your partner also does. Right? You can't flat out go on like your wife or your husband and you're not getting that kind of treatment from your partner, because you're gonna feel as if your needs aren't being met when your partner might not yet be at the place to meet them. So yeah, because maybe on their mind, it takes a certain time before them feel like, say, yes, this is it, I'm secure here, and I want to step up the actions, I want to step up how I treat that person, I want to commit and invest myself, my time, my resources more into this. So yeah.
So just go ahead and do all of that without having like conversations. We don't communicate.
That's
all these
That's
things.
how I say.
So
You don't just rush out.
you don't
and do it,
rush out
yeah.
and start. Have the discussion to say, where are we? And sometimes in relationships, I know that people find that discussion tricky, that where are we? Because, one ask and...
But why do we have to separate it though? Like, I mean, if I want to cater to you, I cater to you as a boyfriend. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, but then I ask
why do we have to separate it?
So that's why the question I asked, is there a husband level worth of connection versus a boyfriend level?
I don't think so.
Connection. Now, look on your side, I bombastic.
I think some things are
Me
pretty
not think
standard
so, because the minute I feel like I gotta take care for my partner, we're gonna do partner things.
Yeah.
If me gonna get serious with it at some point, me gonna say, alright, this look like you can't go somewhere, look future wise or something like. Me don't know why I need to separate it.
But you
How
have
am
a
I gonna separate it?
conversation
Is it
though.
me feel like, oh, you're just like my sexual partner? Like, alright, you can't be my little freak or something or whatever every now and then. But no, but personally, if we talk and we'll be like, okay, I'm your person, you're my person. We don't probably start talking about future or anything. All right, fine. I'm gonna treat you. It's what it is. Like nurture versus nature. And as a mom, it's just regular instinct. I'm gonna treat you good. You know what I mean? And if it reciprocated, then fine. You know, I feel like me I go do that right through. I probably enough. I don't know. But we
No,
feel like
enough, man. No. So me and Calvin are saying similar to what you're saying, that you have to gauge it for yourself.
Right.
But you can't start move in that way if you and the person aren't on the same page. You're gonna end up in a problem. You're gonna be you and I rode the boat. And you and did make up a ship. And it's my later on. You and I rode this a ship, because them not ship with you,
right.
Are you a ship? So understand where you are first before you then decide to shift gears, because you may shift gears and find that you're the only person with that gear that shifted. And the person is still operating in looking at you over there some mode.
Ugh.
So conversations sometimes are key
Maybe.
to say,
Yeah.
where are we now? I feel myself getting a little bit deeper. I feel I want to do some little extra things. Beloved, where you there?
Right.
Beloved look by you and say, well, I feel like my daddy with there and say, all right, boom, bang, I say, okay, I should bueno. What are you, galang that's a raw galang so?
Yeah, maybe we do that.
I see one person in the comments said they want husband treatment. No. Like them
Oh,
want-
from your treating her, from your giving is reciprocity. If
Yeah.
you are also sending that signal and doing that type of work,
then you can.
then you're
Then
fine.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
That-
reciprocity.
that's-
Once somebody can
that's
roll
what I agree
along
to.
so. Yeah, I'm gonna get tired.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, so you remember you can always send us a message. Let us know what your views are. Send us on Instagram at JASL Info or via WhatsApp at 876-551-5782. You're listening to JASL After Dark on the Bridge 99 FM. So forward.
What Black Star said? Jostle, jostle, jostle after dark. Jostle, jostle, jostle after dark. Jostle, jostle, jostle after dark. What you talking at the day? At the night part.
All right. If you are just joining us, you are listening to JASL After Dark, brought to you by Jamaica Aid Support for Life on the Bridge 99 FM. Reminding you the best gift is a gift to yourself. That's taking care of your health and ensuring that you know your status. You can contact Jamaica Aid Support for Life to get tested for HIV and syphilis, or if you're living with HIV, to start treatment.
All right, so we want to know all there is about contraceptives. So tonight we'll be
Yes.
discussing the ins and outs of contraception. And to share this in this discussion, we'll be talking to Nikisha Barnes, who is the Director, Health Promotion and Prevention at the National Family Planning Board. So Nikisha,
Yes.
tell us about the
It
National...
sounds so serious as a while ago.
Yes,
My girl,
very
Mr.
serious.
You know,
Yes.
get yourself together.
Get yourself together. Tell us about the National Family Planning Board and the role it plays.
I am so excited to share. So the National Family Planning Board provides services in the range of being the coordinating body for the HIV prevention response, as well as support for the enabling environment and human rights. And we do research because our work is evidence-based. We also distribute for population management commodities. And I use the word commodities because they flow under contraceptive methods to our partners and other stakeholders in our regional health authorities, as well as private sector. So our mandate is very huge when it comes to the coordination of the sexual reproductive health response.
All right. So,
Nice.
in terms of details, tell what are some of those services that you provide?
So again, no, because we are a coordinating body, we don't have those granular service levels. So what we are going to term our services is working very closely with the HIV prevention response and the partners in terms of providing standards and policies that guide what the response looks like when we talk about our outreach services. When we talk about family planning, providing commodities to our partners, but also having standards that guides what the family planning services looks like in our public health sector, as well as private sector. And for our enabling environment and human rights, the similar thing goes across the board, where we have protocols and policy and standards that helps to support the advocacy for persons who are living with HIV around issues of reducing stigma and discrimination. So we do a lot of work with our healthcare providers in terms of capacity building to get those particular areas in prevention and enabling environment as something that undergirds the services through our partners as provided to the persons in our population.
All right.
Sound fancy and big up in the sky.
Yeah, but very much. But I mean, it was clear. There was a lot of clarity. One of the perceptions people have of NFPB is that it wants to dictate how many kids people should have and when they should have kids. Is this true?
So no. So in public health, we have to think about population planning. And the National Family Planning Board is one of the agencies that supports population planning in Jamaica.
Right.
Now, when you think about population planning, you have to think about what is the size of your population that uses the resources in your country.
Right.
When I tell you, say you must have 2 children, we're saying to you, based on our population size,
Right.
what are the resources that we are going to need to support that population? If we look at forecasting, if we say the island are going to have 4 million people, would we be able to manage 4 million people? Hospitals, clinics, education, roads, all of those stuff. The infrastructure becomes now something to consider. Housing, critical for us
Very
as a small
much.
island. Natural resources, are we able to replenish with food supplies? So if you think in that way, you now have to look at your population and go, how will we manage a population that doesn't have the information that guides population planning? So family planning now becomes critical when you're looking at your overall population and what you have as a country.
Right. Okay. Understood. So NFPB, they do a lot of message around contraceptives.
Yes.
You know, this is a big thing.
Yes.
So what are contraceptives and are they gender specific?
So that question, I smiled because we know that contraceptives are devices or an act. So it don't have to be an actual device or an act that allows you to prevent, plan for a pregnancy.
Exactly.
Yeah. So when we think of that, then we know that over the last couple of years, or for the inception when it comes to the devices, it has been focused on our females.
Definitely.
The devices.
Yeah.
But the acts too are also allowed for both genders. So while the devices are more targeted for females, a man can plan for his family outside of a device. He can look at when does he want to have a child, how many does he want to have, and he can take actions such as using a condom to say, this is how I want to actually see my timeline in terms of a family.
Right.
So contraceptive devices, yes, they are focused on the female, but there are also actions that you can take to plan how you want to have a family.
Ooh, say it louder for the ones in the back.
Tell us about some of those contraceptives.
So types of contraceptives, you have hormonal barrier methods and you have permanent methods. So our hormonal methods look at like the oral contraceptive pills that you take one a day for 28 and some 21. You have hormonal such as the implant that goes in the arm. You have what we call the intrauterine contraceptive device. Outer road, we call it Kapati.
Yeah.
But there's also hormonal type that is offered internationally and in some private sector, but not in public sector. We offer copper T. Barrier methods, condoms, spermicides, diaphragm. Those are your barrier methods. Permanent methods, sterilization.
Right.
So tubal ligation, vasectomy.
Tie off.
Yes, me never
Yes,
want to
so-
tire. It's same one.
you gotta
It's
simplify for them.
Yes.
You gotta let them know.
Even I said sterilization and I look by you and I come and say, Lord, me no want ball or tire. But yes.
I did it for you.
Thank you.
All right, good.
Yeah.
So how does one decide which contraceptives, are best for him or herself? How do they decide this?
You do what is called family planning counseling. You can also do your own research. So
Right.
if you're somebody who you're able to take a pill and then you also go through a bit of a screening process. So let me just backtrack.
Yes.
So you speak to a family planning service provider. It could be a clinician, which is a doctor or a nurse, and you are now going to look at your body type. They do blood pressure checks. You do all of that. You have to consider if the person is on medication, all of those things. And then the person for themselves will have to walk through, am I somebody who can take pills every day?
Yeah.
Is this something I can do? Am I a pill taker?
Right.
Consistently, correctly. Because if you're not, the pill will not be the best option for you. Because it requires consistency, taking it at a particular time. For the person now who says, I can't take the pill, you have the option in public sector of doing the implant, which lasts up to 3 to 5 years based on the
One of
brand.
them called Jadel.
So based on the brand, so JASL is a brand.
All right.
So based on the brand. So for somebody who says, boy, I really want a longer term, I think I want to do something like the intrauterine contraceptive device. Yeah, which is copper T, people.
Right.
Right. So I have to fix it. May I try to fix it now? Copper T, then you'll get a span of like up to 10 years where that's inserted, and you know, so for 10 years you are able to navigate not becoming pregnant. But all the devices we spoke about, the implant, the copper T, they're also reversible. So they're called long-acting reversible contraceptives, LARC. But you also have to navigate my one that I always smile at, dual protection condoms.
Yeah.
It's the only device that prevents pregnancy as well as HIV and other STIs.
Yes.
When used consistently and correctly. Yeah.
Nice. I learned something tonight.
Because all the others you have to use to support the condom, because you're only preventing pregnancy with the IUCD,
Exactly.
with the implant, with the pills. But you have to now accompany that with a condom to prevent HIV and other STIs.
Right.
So you spoke about these long acting and the 3 to 5 years and the 10
The
years.
10 years,
There are methods that are permanent, right?
So sterilization is a permanent method. We just say the tie off. So permanent
Tie off.
yes, is a permanent method, and one has to do a lot of consideration because we don't have much success of hearing persons being able to reverse.
You can't, exactly.
Yeah. If you're somebody who you know that every 3 months for the injectable, every 3 months I think I can remember my appointment and I won't lose track, then that is also another option that you can utilize for yourself, which is hormonal, but you have 3 months. So you can to navigate and be able to say, I go back for an appointment.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what are some of the side effects of contraceptives? Because a lot of people are fearful because they think that, when they're in fact ready to have kids, contraceptives will prevent this. So talk to me about
What are the side effects?
Yes.
So we know that the common ones, so some persons prolonged spotting. So you might have that when it comes to the injection if you're somebody who's a new acceptor.
Right.
So for some IUCD, you may have heavy bleeding, and you'll have to check in with your clinicians just to ensure that things are all right when it comes to the insertion and movement. You may have for some people with the pills, you may have nausea for like a week, a
Yeah,
headache.
right.
But the recommendation is with the pill, if you work through that initial first week of the nausea, then everything normalizes because you're taking a hormone into your body and your body's trying to regulate
Yeah.
what is happening. So you will get those feelings. But if you maintain, but if after a week or two you're still having those, we recommend you go back to your site where you got the device or the pill, and then you have a conversation because perhaps that's not the best one
For you, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, it's 2023, so all of these that are there. Talk to us a little about safety. You mentioned, the mild side effects that they have, but as a whole, in terms of the safety of these devices, what would you say to that?
So in terms of the contraceptive devices that are in the public sector, which is the injectable or the injection, 3 months injection, the pills, the IUC, the copper T, as well as the implant condoms. So I say they're all safe in terms of measurement and effectiveness. They're all safe because they go through, before they get to us, the benefactors, a very rigid process to manufacture, and they go through several other entities that regulate the measures for contraceptives before they get to Jamaica, like the FDA in America, to ensure that what we're getting has the ingredients that won't cause us to have dire or severe complications. Yeah.
All right, so you have several options. They're safe. They can range from 3 months with the injection,
3 months with
up to
injection,
10 years.
10 years with the
10 years.
IUCD, 3 to 5 if you want to put in the implant based on the brand. If you're somebody who can take pills, they have benefits too. For persons, the injections stops the period. Some people love that. Clean up your skin with the pills. Some people find that fabulous. For ladies who have endometriosis and very heavy periods with pain, injection and the pills can also help with that. For some persons, they get looking at you. Some people say it actually help them libido.
Yeah.
Showing a little something there. Just in case, yes.
Just in case.
Just in case.
Everyone knows some of the good stuff, not
Just
all
in
the bad
case,
things.
yeah. Not gonna make it
Yeah.
clinical all the while.
Yeah.
Just in a little flavor day night, one at a time.
We need it. We need it.
Yeah.
All right. That was good. Calvin?
Well, we're going for a quick break. You're listening to JASL After Dark on the Bridge 99 FM. We'll be right back.
JASL after dark. JASL after dark. JASL after dark. What can't talk in the day? In the night part. JASL after dark. JASL after dark.
Welcome back to JASL After Dark, brought to you by Jamaica AIDS Support for Life on the Bridge 99 FM. Just reminding you to follow us on Instagram at JASL Info, on Facebook at Jamaica AIDS Support for Life, and on Twitter at JASL Tweets. So we're continuing our discussion around the ins and outs of contraception with Nikisha Barnes from the National Family Planning Board.
Thank you. Don't forget to write your time on the end.
Exactly. Yeah, like you never remember. Hello.
So, Nikisha, we want to talk a little bit about youth, right? Does
Yes.
the NFPB have any campaign or programs currently focused on young people? Tell us about that.
You got me really excited just now. Yes, so the National Family Planning Board, one of our main functions as well is health promotion and health education. So we do have campaigns focused on not just young people, but that we provide to the general population in terms of information on HIV prevention, stigma and discrimination reduction, and we look at family planning as well. So with young people, we have several campaigns now across the platforms and we're using the umbrella term youth expression. So we have a youth expression page on Instagram. Yes, please go follow it. Thanks. Youth expression Jamaica on
And that's
Instagram.
youth, YUTE.
YUTE. You are come on louder. Yeah. So youth expression Jamaica on Instagram, as well as we have information. So we do design what we call, and you can't see it on the radio, but for the people on the live, we create what we call our information education materials on family planning, HIV prevention, focused on targeting young people, where we provide information, because our evidence and our research also shows us that our young persons are craving information.
Right.
So they want to get information so they're able to make the best choices for their sexual reproductive health. So we do have campaigns, Youth Expression. We are now working on another information portal called the Youth Expression Chatbot. We are coming at the space, you know.
Chatbot, that sounds like some AI, like
where we're going into the era where young people are able to access information in real time. So algorithms are in the background where you log in, you put in a particular word, it gives you all the information you're asking for. If you need referral and guidance like mental health and
That's
other
so nice.
spaces, that's
Right.
provided to you. So we do have
need
all
that.
of those for our young people. And as particular one for me is collaborating with our partners. That's a major strategic approach for us, because we recognize with our young people it can be a one silo approach.
Right.
It's all of us coming to the table to address the issues that impact our young people when it comes to their sexual reproductive health. So if we're talking about drug use, if we're talking about alcohol, we need those partners on board.
Right.
If we're talking about their ability to earn too, because young people are saying, listen, we want to make some money, you know. Yeah, man, we can make something
Want to
go on for
work too,
ourselves too.
yeah.
Yeah, man. So we have Ministry of Labor. We also we have conversations and collaborations with the Ministry of Education and Youth, especially to address the in-school population, to address those issues when it comes to sexual reproductive health and providing information. So we collaborate on something that we call the Hold On, Hold Off program in schools. It's a build out to the HFLE program, which is a Health and Family Life Education
Right.
program, so the Ministry of Education and Youth. And for our population of young people in communities who are not in any formal setting, not in school, not in a job, and you know, say you want to do something with yourself.
Right.
We have a lot of work that happens where it's community based. So you can become a peer link. You have the opportunity to use your influence. Man, big up your chest.
Yeah.
Use your influence to pull your peers into spaces where you are able to give them information on sexual reproductive health and refer them for sexual reproductive health services, HIV screening, family planning,
Everything.
and treatment too. Because young
Right.
people are saying, what happened? Why we not hear about treatment? Things
Right.
happen with we want. Can talk to somebody about STI treatment and navigating that landscape as well.
All right. So I'm happy we're on that topic about young people, because one of the ills of society is that females are the ones who are often punished for teenage pregnancy, right?
Now look at you.
So boys play a role in the pregnancy process as well, you
Yes.
know, which a lot of times we don't acknowledge. So what are the initiatives like NFPB is using to reach young men?
So we recognize overall that not just with our young men, we need to start strengthening the inclusion of males in the talk around
Right.
family planning.
Definitely.
So the action cannot be just for girls. It's how do we get our young males and
Yeah.
older males to recognize that family planning is not a contraceptive.
yes.
It's a bigger conversation about what do you see your family looking like for you.
Right.
How many children do you want? At what time in your life do you want these children? And then you are going to look at, do you have the resources to manage the children that you say you want? So
Right.
those are some conversations that we need to be having with our men in general, because we normally assume that once we say family planning, you're talking only of contraceptives. But family planning should be a part of your life planning, your
your
goal
lifestyle.
setting. Yeah,
Yes.
man. For say, boy, when me reach 21, me know some one they are expert, but can I manage a child if me reach 21 and have a
So how
child?
do you reach these young men
In school.
in schools?
So in our school programs, we also reach them in our community-based programs to
Right.
our partners. And I know JASL also does work with young people in community settings, and when
correct.
we do our outreach programs, and you go to the spaces where young people are already finding themselves. What they are looking at as safe spaces for them to access
be
their
open.
peers that's open in their social settings rather than taking them to clinical spaces. So you have a space like the Teen Hub
Yes.
that offers homework programs. It's holistic, so they're not just coming there because they want sexual reproductive health
Right.
information. There are other things that support them and give them access. SBAs can be done at the Teen Hub. Mentors are there if you have issues that you want to talk through, but you don't have a safe space where you feel you can talk
Right.
through
So they
those
don't feel
issues.
drilled.
So they don't feel drilled like I'm just coming here for this one particular
Right,
thing.
which is good.
So the act is to move that type of spacing into our community setting. So a lot of our partners do what we call the chill and chat. Where you set up a mini tea in urban in the community with some bean bag and you and them all are reasoning.
Yes.
And it's in their space. Yeah, man. So them can come in them yard clothes. People still talk about yard clothes.
Yeah.
They do.
Them come in them yard clothes. Cause my son I try to bring me up, Them come in them yard clothes. So it's nothing that moves them too far from where they're comfortable and they feel safe. And they come in that space and you're able to have conversations with our trained outreach officers who are able to navigate some of those conversations that parents may not be able to navigate in real time because they too need support.
Oh, nice. I like that.
And speaking of young people and safe spaces, you know,
Yes.
one of the things they always say is that they don't want people knowing who they are. So some of them want the advice, but they'll call on the phone, but they want to remain anonymous. Is this something that NFPB provides, or once a young person calls and they give you all the information, you find a way to get back to them parents?
So, you don't tell a lie from agency. No, we do not. We do not try to get back to your parents. I think for us in outreach and for prevention, all the partners, we understand that our young people want to feel safe. And no, you don't bring the parents in when they're accessing information because information builds and provides support for them to make safe health decisions.
Right.
So no, there's no way to contact and find your mother and find your granny and tell her I said it Calway because it's anonymous. So when you text us on WhatsApp, you can remember WhatsApp. You can change up a picture. You can delete me. You can block me. So you can access us in real time. So our WhatsApp number is 536-9154. You can WhatsApp. There's an expert advisor.
I think I said that too fast. Give me it one
Not
more
a
time.
problem. 536-9154. So that's the WhatsApp number. But I also know too that if you call us or landlines, we're able to have conversations with young people, and we're also able to make real-time referrals to entities like JASL, like an ASHE, like a Children First, like a E for Life, like the Women's Center, to direct our young people to spaces that we know will have the services in real time.
All right.
Nice.
Okay. All right. So we focus heavily on contraceptives, right?
Yes.
In the sense of preventing pregnancy.
Yes.
So now I want us to shift to contraceptives to prevent STIs. So what's currently available, and does NFPB provide these for free?
So in terms of the contraceptives that prevent STIs, I'm going to go back to our good old barrier method, which is the
Condom.
condoms.
Yes.
So it's the dual protection of condoms that it prevents pregnancy as well as it prevents HIV and STIs when used correctly and consistently. Yeah, and the NFPB does distribute to its partners currently, and it is provided in our outreach settings free of cost.
Free of cost. So you hear that? It's free.
Free.
It's
free.
Yeah.
So you don't have a SQs. There's no SQs. All right. What are the numbers saying? Like, can you walk us through the STI rates in Jamaica? The HIV and the syphilis, and who is most at risk?
So in terms of who is most at risk, we have a special term that we use. It's going to be a little medical, and I'm gonna fix my face and I do it. We call. Let me reverse then, so we don't get into that frame. So setting the context for what's happening in terms of HIV in Jamaica, we have what is called a generalized epidemic, meaning that it's both concentrated as well as it has some specific pockets in it of populations that are most at risk. I don't like using the word risk, but are at high likelihood for acquisition of HIV. Now, based on that, our programs have to be specific to not only address the specific subgroups, but also to look at the wider population, because they don't exist in a vacuum. They exist within a wider space. They're not clumped in clusters in little pockets waiting for us to find them. They're existing and living because they're human beings. Talk truth?
That is true.
So, in terms of what the prevalence looks like, meaning over the years for HIV prevalence, it has a wider frame when you talk of prevalence. So we know that over the last couple of years, we have had what looks more like it's centered in the male section. So from 1982 to 2021, our males are more impacted than our females. Yeah, because they have some issues where they don't like to test, and they turn up late if they do have HIV, and they're diagnosed at the very late stages. In terms of what the rates look like for different populations, so there are specific subpopulations, what we are going to term here as our key populations, the specific subgroups that we know that they are at the highest likelihood for HIV acquisition. There are men who have sex with men. So we look at that, and the prevalence over the last couple of years is 29.6%. For female sex workers, a lot of key work has been done. A major shift has happened from 2012, where it was in the high teens, to now it's at 2%. For transgender persons, when you look at the overall picture, 51%. But we know what the issues are and the social determinants of health around that population, where their vulnerability is extremely high based on our social and our legal landscape. For young people, their numbers are very tricky. Because there are so many divergence. So for young people, when you look at it, it's 0.4% for young people. But if you look at males and females, more males as they age, the number increases. So by 20 to 24, they're outpacing females. At 1.4%, where females would be at 1%. So as they age and go into young adulthood, it gets more. So our last data for 2021 showed us a major thing that we have to start looking at our young people, because over the last 5 years, there's been incremental increases for that community of people. Drastic increase. So every time we have a number, last year 749 cases. Out of that number,
that's new cases?
Yes, new cases. So that's the incidence. 23% were females between the ages of 20 to 24. That is telling us that we need to start working with our young people.
Definitely.
Providing information. Because if we don't address it when they're young, to provide information as they get older, their prevalence increases, because they don't have the access to the information they should have that allows them to make safe health decisions. And you can't be where they are at all times.
Definitely not.
So you want to create an environment that allows them to access information that supports their decision making for themselves.
Perfect. And I'm happy you mentioned that, because many people, you know, when they think about condom, they think about the males. So tell us about the female condoms and its effectiveness, because we don't have a lot of discussion on the female condom. You know, when you think about that, it's always about the condom for the male and condom this, condom that. Like, okay, what happened to the female condom? Them, like, we're not hearing nothing about it as much, like the effectiveness of it. So tell us some more about that.
So the female condoms, I smile.
You always a smile.
Because the female condoms are made, new female condoms called FC2. They're not in public health sector at this time. But I can give information. They are available in pharmacies. So you can purchase. Is one use though, people. Yes, me know it there, but it's one time.
Don't wash it and
can't go up on the line. At one time.
It's not an underwear.
No, you can't carry it with you after you and rinse it out. Is one time. It looks strong enough, me know. But
that's true.
It's one dege one, right? Good. So it's made of this material. No, there is a shift from the earlier version. It was made of latex, but it was a little bit hard. And then they tried polyurethane, a little bit hard. Now they're at, when you put on a gloves, nitrile. Nitrile adheres to your skin when you get excited. And because when a woman gets excited, it melts into the wall of the vaginal canal. So it increases the level of engagement and interaction. It has an inner ring that when the inner ring is inserted and positioned to the back of the cervix, the cervix, then when that, if you can't quint on your own, there's assistance.
Definitely.
There is assistance with that inner ring that is positioned to the back. Now fight for quint, just enjoy yourself.
Tell me about the outer one, or the outer ring.
So the outer ring is positioned on the outside, and it also gives additional pleasure to the woman because it's positioned where it's rubbing against the clitoris. So continued friction. So outside of that ejaculation and that extra climax, you can have 4 or 5 climaxes because of the friction.
Right.
That sounds
and
festive.
it's festive bad. And because it's positioned on the outside, there's additional protection from that barrier method. Whereas the male condom covers the male shaft, the female condom covers the entire outside of the woman. So if that person had bumps, scratches, and you can't see it coming on, enough we not turn on the light and investigate. So if you
That
have
teeth piece in
that
that
helps.
dark.
yes,
Right.
it helps with that additional coverage and protection for that woman, especially when we have, as you mentioned, issues around syphilis where persons they don't disclose.
Yes.
Persons might have herpes and you're not
Herpes,
aware. Small little bumps, small little blisters, you don't know what happened. People have little hair where get and you can't really see everything. So it gives you additional protection and you're getting pleasure at the same time.
Right.
That sounds like a win-win, right?
Man,
It is, but I mean,
Listen.
a lot of conversations not being had about it.
yeah.
You know, a lot of females don't know. As simple as it may sound, a lot of
sound.
females don't know. They
because
don't know
we
about it.
have moved into a realm where we think male condom and we think a man must have the condom.
Yes.
So to change the conversation is now you have the opportunity to have your own product.
Exactly.
And you can insert before you're ready to engage.
There you go. Up to 8 hours,
Up to
something
8
like that.
hours you
Up to
can
8
insert and it's comfortable because of the nitrile material.
Right.
So it's very comfortable and once you have gotten the flow of how you should insert, it is something you can navigate.
All right.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, say I'm 16 years old. I'm a Well, I put it myself.
That you you look 7 moons past 16, yeah, but make a work with it.
Wow.
I work with you on it because you look like you're
At
trying.
16-year-old.
Yes.
At 16-year-old.
According to your question.
Yeah.
Right.
At
16 years old.
I want to me look over.
And so 16 years old, you want to get on contraceptives. Walk me through. Is that possible? Is that allowed? And step by step, what's the process like for that to happen?
So a 16-year-old legally is allowed to seek sexual reproductive health services outside of having parental approval.
Right.
So
So that means getting tested as well.
you can get tested, you can go and ask for commodities at a clinic, at a public health sector site, and you can get access to condoms and you can do HIV screenings. So if you want a family planning method, then it's a similar process that you would go through if you join the, it's a clinic line.
Yeah.
You join the line, and you should have your docket. You're going to be written up because there's family planning days at particular clinics, and you can access your family planning method.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I know we would have been focusing a lot on preventing pregnancy and STIs, but what about when a teen do get pregnant? Like, talk to me about that. Like, is it too late for them to, contact the NFPB at that point, or do they work along with teen moms? What want to do? What go on?
So for the NFPB, our mandate is prevention of pregnancy.
Right.
So we're not saying we're turning you away, but we have partners who will be able to
Okay.
support you
Nice.
when it comes to that. So like the Women's Center, we'll be able to make contact with them because they have counselors and psychologists who are able to navigate that, social workers who are able to
Referrals.
navigate. So we would make referrals as well as we'll be able to support with what are the other partners and what the other access is for you that you
Right.
could navigate through.
Perfect. Do you want to
Yes.
hear that? So no, HIV and pregnancy. So you have women who are living with HIV and they want to start a family. They want kids and the whole 9 yards. Are they able to have children without the child being HIV positive?
Yes, they are.
They
We have
are.
an absolutely incredible program in Jamaica called the Mother-to-Child Transmission, Elimination of Mother-to-Child
Talk about
Transmission
it.
program in Jamaica.
Yes.
So a lot of work has been done in the area of treatment where mothers are screened during their term, screened
Right.
all the way up to childbirth. And if found HIV positive, or if you knew you're HIV positive before, you go on a regimen of ARVs that reduces your viral load. They also have strict guidelines and instructions that will allow you to keep as healthy as you can during your term so that you don't pass
it on.
it on to your child.
Nice.
But remember now, talk with your clinician so that you can have some clear guidance as to how you go forward, you and your partner.
Perfect. So now they know.
Now they
They're
know.
hearing that.
But
Because
y-
a lot of persons are afraid. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, my child's going to contract HIV,
HIV.
or what's going to happen. So now they know.
Yes.
With all this talk on contraceptives and we knowing that it's mainly on the women in terms of the methods, right? I know there's been talk about the development of a male contraceptive pill.
Yes.
Do you know if this is something that's coming soon, and do you think it's something we need?
I'm laughing
Yeah.
because it's a new innovation. And with a new innovation, several streams and researches have to be done before public sector will take on a new innovation. Remember, for public sector, we provide mass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have to first know that this is extremely safe. It has been through several trials before we can say this is something that the Jamaican public health sector is going to embrace. But in terms of being a new innovation, I think it's absolutely incredible that now we have an opportunity to move the contraceptive devices into a frame where males can be a part of that discussion, because they were before, but with the actions and with being able to plan for their family. But now you're shifting into device conversation where they can also be a part of what are the methods that I can take to support my family planning going forward.
I remember one time I heard someone say, this thing, it's no fear because a woman can have a child every month, every 9 months, but a man can read somebody every day.
Yes, very true.
And
Very
and not
true.
just one person,
Should
but
it-
several persons.
Unfair.
Should he and the partner decide to? Because remember, when you're having a child, it's not one person that
Exactly.
decide. If you're not using a condom, means both of you are now aware that you didn't use protection
It's a
and you could have a child.
possibility.
Yeah.
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 All right.
So if a school or an organization wants you or the National Family Planning Board to come and have more talk like these, how do they contact you?
So I love that you asked that question. Just to underscore again, the National Family Planning Board is a coordinating body, but we have incredible partners like, JASL. We have incredible partners like JASL or civil society organizations, JASL Children First, E for Life, ASHE, that also provide services, and they do those direct contacts for the HIV prevention program. We also have our regional health authorities who have our outreach partners who also support by doing those community-based engagements with our population. So for that support, you can reach out to the National Family Planning Board, and we are very excited to provide support for you in terms of directing you to who are those persons that you can get immediate contact to for that level of service.
I see.
Okay. But to have the discussion, though, if an organization needs you to have that discussion, they can contact you. Like, how do they contact you directly? They just
Directly? No. So we're at the National Family Planning Board. You can go on our website. You can
Right.
also contact us at 968-1634. I don't know why I remember all of them number here.
You need
Sorry,
to.
box out of my head. 968-1634.
Right.
You can call and you'll be directed to whichever department it is that you're requesting the support from. But again, because we're a coordinating entity, we would not do the students. We'd perhaps do sessions with the teachers and the
Definitely,
parents,
right,
because
yeah.
they now become more or a part of our wider stakeholder group that then would be able to support our young people.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
All right. Well, Shadi, I don't know about you, but I definitely learned a lot tonight.
A whole lot.
The ins and
It was
outs,
very
right?
informative.
Very informative.
Very informative.
Yeah, I want to thank you so much, Nikisha Barnes,
Yes.
Director,
My heart can't stop
this
palpitating.
Prevention and Prevention and Health Promotion.
Health promotion and prevention.
Right. So,
Yes.
Director, Health Promotion and Prevention,
Prevention.
at the National Family Planning
Planning
Board.
Board.
Thank you so much for joining us and being a part of this discussion tonight.
Yes.
Thank you. And when I saw it, I smiled. I was like, whoa, them really want to talk about family planning?
Of course.
What a jump through the loop here,
A lot
sir.
of these conversations aren't
What a
being-
job through the loop here, sir. And
We
because
need
I
to-
watch you guys, I was like, really and truly. May I look on the email like really and truly. I don't think them know say at this what talk about, you know. This not a splash of excitement tonight in a shady. Me can't see what I rig up no nothing else and fling no nothing pan this feet look
But
sassy.
we need it. You know, we need
yeah.
to have these
So me say we have a
stimulating
sassy.
conversations, very
No, I thought
candid
it
and
was
honest, because a lot of
absolutely
people don't
incredible.
know.
Yes.
You know, especially about the different type of contraceptives. A lot of women don't know. You
Yes,
know,
that's
especially
true.
for women who want to get pregnant, who have HIV, they want to start a family, but they're so
What
scared
are
to
the
start a family. You know,
conversations? Yeah.
like they need to know to be like, oh wow, really? You know, all right, fine. You know, they need to know the different agencies and spaces that they can contact for having these conversations. So we need it, and we thank you for that.
And I'm looking forward to come back again.
Of course,
right,
we need a part two.
We need a part two. What have to talk? People need to know about family planning.
All right. I want to remind you guys that Jamaica AIDS Support for Life, we provide free HIV and syphilis testing, free condoms, lubes, free HIV treatment if you're living with HIV, and PrEP, pre-exposure prophylaxis, a one-a-day pill. Yes, Nikisha, we're in a shirt today. ask me about PrEP. So
Nice.
PrEP, why they appeal to reduce your chances of contracting HIV. So you can always call us at 876-925-0021 or follow us on our social media platform, Shade.
All right. And you can follow me on all socials at Fetty Secrets Limited, Fetty Secrets LLC, or Fetty Secrets Day Spa. You can also visit my website at www.fettysecrets.com or call us 876-447-9662.
All right, so
Wait, make I jump in.
Yes.
It's at the NFPB Jamaica.
Right,
Thank
NFP.
you. Whatever on social media.
Right,
What could have
right.
caused
And you're
this?
at 5 Sylvan
Hey.
Avenue.
Yeah. Yeah.
What could have caused that?
Next week, 9 o'clock on the Bridge 99 FM for more JASL After Dark, where what we can't talk in the day, we discuss after dark.
Sounds sexy. Me
The
like.
Black Star say, Jostle, jostle, jostle after dark. Jostle, jostle, jostle after dark. Jostle, jostle, jostle after dark. What can't talk in the day? Inna the night part. Jostle, jostle, jostle after dark. Jostle, jostle, jostle after dark. Jostle, jostle, jostle after dark. What can't talk in the day? Inna the night part.